Hello, everybody. It's been a minute since we've been on good old StreamYard.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. I missed it. We missed it. Yeah. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of things has happened.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've all gotten busy, done stuff. Haven't really had time to do one. Uh, Conspiracy theories are really hardly anything for that matter.
Uh,
And now we're actually able to. You're free. I'm free. Chief as well. Chief. He'll be free whenever he can be, I guess. But so today's topic is, in case people haven't been watching the news or keeping up, we started this from the time this started. This was one thing we really hit up on, and we followed it. Ghost hasn't been keeping a close eye as I have. I have followed this thing from the moment I caught wind of it all the way up until, well, what we think is the final, right? I mean, that's what we've heard so far with the new details coming in from Idaho trial that we've been following. Well, I've been following. What's up? How's it going? So
but
the new details is that they have done is that they have reached a Ghost, you're better at the logical terms than I am.
okay. So let's do a recap. It was about a few years ago when what's his name again? Help me out.
Brian Kober.
Thank you. That guy. He was accused of killing four people in in a residential area like off a campus. Like they're all college students. They use this as a rental for college students. Anyway, and the idea is he broke in, killed four, and escaped. Now, then they caught him, uh, and then we were waiting forever for a freaking trial to even start. I mean, it was like I said, it was a few years ago, and it kept getting pushed back, and then pushed back some more, and pushed back some more, and we pushed back more. And we started. Well, I don't know about Insidious, but I started with assuming the guy could be innocent because there was a lot of evidence going against him. But
Allegedly.
yeah, allegedly, and because remember, everyone, you're innocent until proven guilty in this country. However, that may no longer be the case with this young man because he actually uh, came out and changed his plea to guilty. So,
Actually, he never actually put in a plea. I'll make that clear. The judge actually put it in for him. He never actually put a plea. The judge put his plea to not guilty. I mean, to guilty. He never even said not guilty. The judge put it in as guilty for him because he never made a verdict on his own.
hmm. Okay. Well, either way, so now he's looking at life without parole, and by doing a guilty verdict, he's also given up his right for an appeal. So,
Long story short is they're saying he can serve 4 consecutive life sentences. This is where I have a problem with this whole thing is because, like I said, we followed this from the beginning. Me and Ghost went back and forth on this. The media already claimed he was guilty. You had the judge already saying that he wanted to get the trial over and get the guy in the ground and get it over with. You had just everybody already saying this guy was guilty. And in a nation where, like you said, we're innocent until proven guilty, but he was already guilty before there even was a trial.
mm,
And then we started going through evidence, and his lawyer saying stuff was planted. And this is where the conspiracy stuff comes in, because me and Ghost, we started like, well, could it be planted? I mean, it was kind of like rushed. And then we had a star witness that come out of nowhere that no one even knew was still in the house that said she saw him with his bushy eyebrows. The defense
You
would
with
have
the
tore
bushy
that
eyebrows.
apart.
Bushy
Dude,
eyebrow,
I'm
bushy.
telling you that if they would have got her on the stage, it was dark. You couldn't see any facial features, but yet you got his bushy eyebrows in the dark. I'm
Bushy
sorry,
eyebrows.
if I'm a defense attorney, that is one thing I'm going after, man. I'm telling you, I would be all over that. You're telling me it was so dark you couldn't see his face, but you could see his bushy eyebrows.
This
So,
guy.
so when I hear this in my head and I'm saying, well, this is all they've got. They have no murder weapon. All we have is a knife sheath that they found off of underneath one of the bodies. So I'm sitting here going, okay. And then they got a DNA match off of Ancestry.com. That's the best our federal government could come up with. Ancestry. We spend how much on tax dollars a year? And that's the best they could come up with was Ancestry. So, and then we go into other topics besides them using Ancestry as a DNA match. Then you also go into what else was there? Fingerprints all over the house. But even though they had the map pings all over stating that he was nowhere near the house during the times that they said the murders happened. So now we have a new witness that sprung up like 2 weeks ago that they said in 2024 they picked her up, and they had a whole police cam on this where she openly admitted that about another case. Well, she was picked up for driving while suspended. Supposedly she was a door dasher at the time. She parked next to Koberger's car, which happened to be near the area that said that.
Hold it.
Huh,
You told me she was driving without a license, period, not driving with a suspended license.
Either or, same thing.
Those are not the same thing.
Details are not that sketchy, let me tell you. So, anywho, they picked her up. So they took her down to the station. They interrogated her, vice versa. She tells him she parked next to his car. And this is where I have a problem. You have a person that said that they were going to identify him on bushy eyebrows, and then you all of a sudden knew that that person wasn't even going to get anywhere. You already knew that. That witness was going to get tore up by the defense attorney. There was no way that wasn't going to happen. So if you are in a case, a high-profile case where 4 people are slain, and back in 2023, 2022, something like that. So that's how long. So that's how long we've been following this case, man. And it's been going on for a while, and we're just now about to go to trial, and then they decide that they're going to enter a plea deal. Well, it's funny because the plea deal happened right after the fact that this new witness magically appeared. Now, the problem I have with the new witness is the fact of the time frame. We're about to go to trial, and this magical witness just appeared. That's where I have a problem.
I think.
I mean, you can't say that don't seem kind of funny.
The way I look, but here's the thing. The only thing that works against him in my book is that the Sixth Amendment says that you got the right for a speedy trial. And the problem is that it wasn't him. It wasn't the prosecution that kept delaying the trial. It was him and his defense attorney. They're the ones that kept delaying the trial. And unless you're guilty of sin and are just trying to delay the inevitable, you don't want to keep saying pushing it back, especially when you're sitting in jail. The kid had no bail. He was on no bail. So therefore, until he was proven or until his trial, he had to sit in jail. So to me personally, I wouldn't want to keep sitting in jail if I didn't do it. I'd be like, no, let's hurry up. Let's get to my trial so I can prove my innocence. But if you're
Well,
just going to drag it on, then it honestly does not make
well,
you look good.
well. Here's the thing. And you're like you said, you're on no bail. You're not going anywhere. But you got to also understand they're wanting to put him in front of a firing squad. Would you want to get it done and over with, or would you want to milk that out as long as you could so that didn't happen?
Well, then that begs the question: if I did it or not? Did I do it?
Well, that's the thing. If you have a risk of going to trial, you have, and me and you had this conversation earlier. You know, 4 people are slain. You got a whole community, better yet, a whole fucking state. No matter what you do, no matter if you go to trial or whatever, chances is you're getting done for that firing squad, which is what they were trying to pull off the table this whole time.
But look at it this way: but look at it this way: if you didn't do it and you had the evidence to prove that you didn't do it, true, the community may be upset that holy crap, we're not getting justice right now. But at the same time, wouldn't you also have that mentality? Well, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. If he didn't do it, then who did? And then all of a sudden, maybe your sense of justice shifts. And let's not go after this kid. He didn't do it. Let's put our resources back inside and say, let's find out who the fuck did. I mean, you know what I mean?
You're saying, but if you got the FBI, let's say for an example, they are planting evidence. They've already got this guy. They're obviously not going to let him go. Like I said, we had a witness that came out of nowhere, out of complete nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
This close to a trial that's getting ready to happen. It was supposed to be next month. And then you have literally this witness that just came up out of nowhere. Just like the fingerprints in the house that nobody heard of until a week after that magically appeared. And it happened to magic, the guy they arrested. I'm sorry, man, but this whole thing looks planted. I can't prove it, and I'm not the only one saying that. His defense attorneys are saying that stuff's planted.
But that's also their job to say that.
Not really. I have never heard an attorney out there in the middle of a case say that's all planted. My guy is innocent. If that's the case, Diddy's lawyers would have pulled that off.
Well, I've heard people say that before. I mean, so that wouldn't really be.
Okay, normally 1, but 3? He has 3 attorneys representing him. You're saying all 3 of them came to the conclusion at the same time and said, hey, this is all planted. No, they all looked at the evidence. And when me and you looked at this evidence, when this all first happened, we said something was up with it.
Right. I remember.
And I'm still saying there's something up with it. From the 911 calls that were made to how it was initially reported as all of it to, I'm sorry, I'm just not saying it. I just don't see this guy doing it. And if he did, he's definitely a fall guy, and that's a cover up for one of the people that was in there. Because there was 2 people that were still in that house, and only one of them happened to see the guy. And it happened to be the same one that made the 911 call hours after the fact. Way hours after the fact. I mean, I don't really have anything else on this topic unless you do.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything else to add on this topic?
I really don't. I honestly do think there's more. I mean, there could be more, but what I want to know, because see, in most of these cases, when there's a guilty plea, I should say, guilty plea, the judge will tell the person, okay, we're going to accept your guilty plea, but you need to tell us all the details and tell us why you did it. So when that happens, we may be able to finally get a motive if he did do it. We may be able to get something. And like you said, until a judge signs off on it, the plea deal is not in stone. So they can still change their mind.
They could very easily.
So that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Let's say he did do it. Let's say all because remember, we don't know everything. We're only going by what they tell us. Let's say he did do it.
All right, I'll bite.
Which should he? Does he deserve to spend the rest of his life in prison, or should he have gotten the firing squad, or should he be given a chance for a parole? I mean, what's your take on that? Let's say he did do it.
If he did do it, then I'm going to go with the family. He needs to be in front of a firing squad, man.
Hmm.
And honestly, I think that's even too good. I'd do it the old-fashioned way, hang him.
You like the old-fashioned way, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
Can you hear that?
can I hear what?
All right, I'll be right back. Give me a second.
Well, I can hear you. I don't know what you were talking about, though.
Ghost, you there?
Yeah, I've been here. What?
All right. Oh, no, I just didn't hear you.
Oh,
So, I don't have any more to add on this, do you?
not really. So what's the next topic?
Oh, we're going to add Madnet right now.
Huh?
You shall see it in the banners. You've been waiting on it. Let's talk about it.
Oh, well, too bad we never really talked or anything about the UFL when it was going around. But I'm actually glad that this time around an XFL team won the UFL championship. I was kind of sick and tired of seeing the Stallions win 3 years in a row. They're kind of like the Stallions are turning into the New England Patriots of the UFL. But here's the thing: did you catch any of the games when they went to overtime? I loved watching the overtime games where they put it in like what's it called? Like a shootout. You know, each team takes turns on the 2 yard line to try to score, and it's best of three. I like that. And where did Sidious go? I always throws me here by myself with these type of things. Um, there it is.
Sorry.
Sorry. So anyway, what do you think? Do you like that idea of a shootout version of a overtime?
I mean, I do. I think it. Yeah, I mean,
It's different.
it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. It really does.
Okay, so here is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now. It's been bugging me. It's the NFL season is starting in a couple of months, and they've already got the schedule ready. Uh, the thing I have an issue with is the strength of schedule. The strength of schedule. And now, for those that don't know, and the strength of schedule means how hard each specific team has when they go into the next year. I mean, because you got the team that's 4-12, and if they have to spend that was the 4-12 last year, they got to spend all of next season facing the 13-0 teams. That's not really fair. But that's how it happens. The teams rotate every few years, one with who you're going to play. But now here's what my problem is. My problem is this: when your team wins the Super Bowl, I think you should have the hardest schedule next time. That way, it gives a chance for another team to get a shot at it. Or if you were the worst team, like you only won 2 games, then you should have one of the easier schedules next year. That way, it can give you a chance to build a little morale boost.
Well, I'm
But
not gonna say you're not wrong.
okay, so I'd have to pull up the list, but I do remember a couple of the names, and I'm going to talk to you about it. The Philadelphia Eagles, the current Super Bowl champion, their schedule is going to be the fourth hardest. Fourth hardest. That's okay. Okay, it's not the hardest, but it's the fourth hardest. And but now here's the thing: the Dallas Cowboys, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I remember their spot. They did not make the playoffs last year. They And yet their schedule is going to be the fifth hardest, right behind the Eagles. How in the hell does that make sense? They're
I
basically
wish I
saying
could.
they're
I
basically
wish I
saying
could
that
dance it.
they're basically saying that you are on par with the Cowboys are on par with the Eagles, even though the Cowboys didn't even make the playoffs, and the Eagles are the champions. Somewhere doesn't make no sense.
No, not really. I mean, well, it's kind of like New England. Every time they won, they had an easy schedule. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. Really. But one thing's for sure: if you're a Dallas fan, don't even bother showing up to the games. And I'm alone with nobody here beside me. Oh, he must have did what I did.
Okay, the
You
last
did
thing
what? You pushed the back button too fast, didn't you?
Shut up. So what I heard, the last thing I heard was
I think you just muted yourself. I think he's having technical difficulties with his phone again. I'm not too sure what he's got going on over there. It's not muted, so can't tell you. But anywho, 100% if you are a Dallas fan, don't even bother turning TV on. It's going to be a blowout. We're going to get our asses kicked because, well, we just did another coaching change. So it's going to take another 2 years to figure it out. Now, remember, the Washington football team, sorry, they switched their names, Commanders now, went through 3 coaching changes. They went through an offensive coordinator, head coach, and a defense coach, and still came out and it looked like the same team they did prior to the end of their last season. And we had Dallas come out with just a defensive coordinator change, and we looked like monkey fucking a football. Yeah, that's how we looked out there. Monkey fucking a football. Ghost, I don't know what you have going on, but I cannot hear you. And I might have to do this. And I don't even think he's here, to be honest. So I might have to do it this way. All right, bear with me, guys. All right. And if it brings him back, hopefully it will. And he'll be able to come back in and finish up this topic of football talk. And if Chief ever gets in here, and if he is watching, we can do a wrestling podcast tonight after this, if he gets in here. But we will not know. He's in Call of Duty land, and he's very unpredictable. All right. Did you get it fixed?
Internet was being, the internet.
All
right, so
blame it on the internet.
damn right, I'm blaming it on the internet. All right, so the last thing I heard you say before my internet cut out was, if you're a Dallas fan, don't even bother turning on the TV. What were you saying? Something about switching coaches?
Well, yeah, we switched head coach, defensive coordinator last year at the end of last season. Now we have changed a head coach and another offensive coordinator. Yeah, it's going to take another 2.5, 3 years to figure it out. They're not going to do worth a shit. Might as well not even watch them.
What's your take about Aaron Rodgers returning as a Steeler?
Dude, that's funny. Mike Tomlin's really wanting that ring, man. He's reaching to the bottom of the barrel, man. Now, here's my thing. Okay, here's my thing with this. A lot of people are saying Aaron Rodgers is out of his prime now. He's not the same person. He's not that same. He ain't got the same energy. Ain't got that same fire. Well, here's my thing about that. Is it Aaron Rodgers, or is it he didn't have an O-line to protect him, or only one good receiver that can catch a ball?
All right. So, what do you think is going to be like on the Steelers team? The Steelers have been known to be a good team,
but they took their weapon and gave it to Dallas.
Okay.
That's the only problem I have. We picked up one of the best weapons from the Steelers. One of the best wide receivers they had ended up on our team this year. Am I happy about it? Yeah. If you're a Dallas fan, gives Dak another weapon. He's got speed. He can cut crosses. He can get open. And if he ain't open, that'll take the double team off of CeeDee Lamb. I'm all for it. But is Dallas going to play him right? I hope so. But I also don't know who they got in the draft to replace him. So, and Pittsburgh did pick up a majority. Most of their picks were from the Hawkeyes. So, again, I don't know who all they got. I know it was a lot of defense, some offense, but I don't know if they had any wide receivers or anything like that.
Yeah. Went from one black and yellow team to another black and yellow team.
Way to go, man. Keep singing it. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
No, I know. I meant the Hawkeyes' colors are black and yellow, so are the Steelers.
That's why I said black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Uh-huh. You know what it is, black and yellow. Shut up, wife. Who? Who did? It's always been black and gold.
Oh my gosh!
You know what?
We're really?
Yeah. We're not going there. I'm not even going to do that. Nope. Not doing it. Nope. I refuse. No fun intended. 5-finger death punch. Anyways, welcome into the one person that's in here.
It took me a minute. I'm pulling up the what I found with the strength of schedule, what I was talking about earlier. Um, okay. So the team that is going to have the easiest schedule this year is the 49ers.
Really? Well, Brock Purdy's going to earn that contract, didn't he, that he just signed?
That's the easiest, and that's how it is, and that's the thing. What was their? What was their? Shit! Get this stupid pop-up ad off my. Hey, pop-up ads.
Well, if Chief ever comes in here, we'll make our last podcast pro wrestling talk if he ever shows up. Yeah.
So NFL standings 2024 season. I don't even know what to say. How bad? How were the Niners last year? Do you remember?
They made it to the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So they get the easiest schedule this year. How is that right? How is that fair? How does that even make any remote sense? It turns out. Oh, damn it!
I don't know.
Wait a minute. And then, what was the record of the Giants last year? About 3-10, 3-13, or 4. They only had like
Something
4
like
wins,
that.
right?
Yeah, something like that.
Check this out. They're giving the Giants the hardest schedule. How
So
is
what I
that
might do.
fair? How does
So
that
what
make
I
sense?
might do.
Look,
So what I might do is yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I get you're not a Giant fan because you're a Cowboy fan, but at the same time, you have to at least realize if you only had like 4 or 5 wins last year, and then the NFL says, you know what, we're going
Hi,
to give you the
Pixie.
hardest, huh?
Is it hi, Pixie?
Oh, and then this year you're going to get the hardest schedule. What the fuck?
Who got the hardest? Giants?
Huh?
Giants got the hardest schedule.
Yeah, they got when it comes to the hardest, they're number 1.
I'll clap.
See, I get it. I know you don't like the Giants and you're a Cowboy fan.
No. Here's the thing. What if we're wrong this year? You know, the Giants, they surprised everybody when they went to the year they went to the Super Bowl, and I think it was against the Patriots, and nobody expected them to win, and they won.
Yeah, you mean a million years
And
ago?
they had a hard ass schedule.
But they also had a Manning. They had a Manning.
Yeah, it was his first ring and his last.
But it's still a Manning. Last time I checked.
And if you want my honest opinion, Eli was better than Peyton.
Okay, how do you figure that? You said Peyton has like what 4 rings?
And he cried all the way to him.
Uh-huh.
He was literally, I think he still holds the most crybaby stuff I've ever seen in the whole NFL.
Oh come on, Peyton is probably the only complete in that era. Peyton was probably the only quarterback who could give Brady a run for his money.
How many rings does he have again?
About 4.
How many MVPs does he have again? 5? You want to go against Brady?
I'm just saying, when it came to
Don't even compare. That is not a comparison. There ain't ever going to be another Brady. That's like saying there'll be another Jordan. And let's face it, the only reason why Patty Mahomes is going so well is because he's been set up so well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's got the reps. He's got the schedules. They're pushing for another Brady, and they want it to be Mahomes. They're really pushing that narrative. And
uh,
we've had this conversation.
speaking of which, the Chiefs. Do you want to know what their strength of schedule is this year? The Chiefs, second place, AFC Championship, runner up in the Super Bowl. You want to know what theirs is? They're all the way down to number 11.
Well, yeah, we knew that was going to happen, didn't we?
Yeah. So here it is. Here's the whole list. It finally stopped freezing on me. Okay. So
Finally.
yeah. So I'm gonna name it from the hardest schedule to the easiest schedule. Here we go. The Giants have the hardest. Then the Lions.
Yeah.
Then the Lions, Bears, Eagles, Vikings. I was wrong. Vikings is 5. Cowboys is 6. Packers, Commanders, Ravens, Steelers, Chiefs, Chargers, Browns, Bengals, Broncos, Raiders, Rams, Bucks, Texans, Falcons at 20, Dolphins, Seahawks, Bills, Jaguars, Colts at 25, Jets, Panthers, Cardinals, Titans. Then for number 30, it's the Patriots, 31 Saints, and the easiest, the Niners.
Really?
Yeah, that's the list. I mean, who comes up with this?
Roger Goodall.
1%. Yeah. They said here, they also give you like what they think the winning percentage is for the opposite team. So for the Cowboys at number 6, they say that all your opponents this year has a 55.7% of winning.
What is our schedule? Because when I looked at it, I thought we did not have an easy schedule when I looked at it.
Well, I just told you got the 6 hardest. So yeah, there you go.
I'll say when I looked at it, I see Ravens in there. I can't remember who all I seen in there, but I know Ravens was one.
Well, I'm pulling it up right now. For anyone that cares about
No one cares about preseason.
I know, but anybody that does, the very first game for the preseason, July 31st. The first game for the first week for the actual 2025 schedule will feature September the 4th after the Labor Day weekend, and we will get on Thursday night. It will be the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go Eagles!
And it will be in Philly. Well, as the Philadelphia Eagles will hang their flag at the champions. So
who's going to be quarterback? Do we know?
For who?
Eagles.
Wait a minute. It says here it'll be Jalen Hurts.
Jalen, really? You're going with Hurts?
Yeah.
Instead of the guy that won him the Super Bowl? Wow, okay. Didn't see that coming. Dallas might have a chance. I cannot believe that. That is fucking crazy. That is crazy. Wow. All right, so what else you got?
According to hold on, let's see if it's anything important. But there may be some rule changes.
Yeah, I was reading some of that.
Uh, Overtime procedure. The NFL teams adopt to align the postseason and regular season overtime rules by granting to align the postseason and regular season overtime rules by granting both teams an opportunity to possess the ball, regardless of the outcome of the first possession, subject to a 10-minute overtime period in the regular season. The amendment was proposed by Philadelphia, and it was granted. Instant replay assists.
Wow.
To expand instant replay ability to advise of the on-the-field officials to specific objective aspects of play and or to address game administration issues with clear and obvious video evidence is present. So
I'm
basically,
okay
if
with that.
something, huh?
I'm okay with that one.
Yeah, me too. So like if they see a mistake on the field, they can take care right away without a challenge needing.
Yeah, and that's something they needed more of. All right, so after we get done with this one, I will close out and we will go back live to do pro wrestling. I just got to see if Chief is going to want to be in part in this one.
Mm.
So,
I don't really know got much to say though the wrestling stuff. I really don't.
well, I do because we just came off of this pay-per-view, and I know there's some other stuff we wanted to talk about with some of the returns and stuff that happened.
Mm. All right. Let's see. So, who do you have like a what the hell is wrong with this thing? No, I don't want the preseason schedule. I don't want the preseason. Oh, that's not what I want. Okay, so you said you wanted to know what the Cowboys were doing this year. Okay, like I said, week one you're at the Eagles. Okay, if I do this, it should be easier for me.
Because
Week
what are
one,
the teams?
week one you're at the Eagles. Week two, you get the Giants at home. At home. Week, okay, so unless I say at home, you get the idea. Week three, you're at the Bears. Week four, you get the Packers. Week five, you're at the Jets. Week six, you're at the Panthers.
Oh boy!
Week seven, week
Depends which
seven,
Panthers team shows up.
week seven, you get the Commanders. Week eight, you get
That
the
would be interesting.
week eight, you go. Week eight, you go to Denver.
Depends which Denver team shows up.
Week nine, you get the Cardinals.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about that one. Cardinals block.
Week 10 is your bye week.
Obviously.
Okay, week 11, you go to Vegas.
Hmm.
Week 12, you get Philly again. Week 13, the Thanksgiving Day, your Thanksgiving Day, you get Patrick Mahomes.
Sorry, Dak, you're going down, buddy.
Week 14, you're going to Detroit. Week 15, you get the Vikings. Week 16, week 16, you get the Chargers. On Christmas Day, week 17, you go to Washington. And
We should be back where
then
we started.
yep, and then week 18, you go to New York.
Finish. Then we'll finish out with the Eagles.
No, I said week 18, you finish with New York.
Well, Yep, that'll be. So they should. By the way it looks, we should only lose like 2 games. And, uh, looking at the schedule, they say that's hard. Panthers? No, not really. They fucking sucked last year and the year before. Giants, don't look to see that go anywhere. I think so far out of the whole thing, we have depends which Denver team shows up. Lions depends which Lions team shows up. And we already know Casey. We ain't even gonna talk about that one. So out of the whole schedule, I'm only seeing maybe 3 or 4 losses.
3-4, 4-4, 5-4, 6-4, 6-5.
Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. You're right. Do you know what? I know why they say it's the hardest schedule.
Mm,
Go with all the easy teams. Go with all those. Those are the ones we're going to lose.
7, 9, 7. I'm going to say you're going to get either
What? The Jets will win.
8, 9.
Giants will win. We'll go against. We'll go against. Huh?
I'm gonna say the Cowboys will get 10-7 this year. And that's me being nice. 10-7.
I'm not even going to give them that. You don't even give them that. The easy teams are the ones they struggle against. The harder teams, they win. Games they should win, they lose. Games they should lose, they win. Hell, last year didn't even matter. Home, away, we still got our asses kicked. It didn't even matter.
Uh-huh.
Even the home team was pissed. I mean, fans, they were mad, bro.
You really have that mentality?
Yes, I do. I'm a Dallas fan, man, but I have no faith in that team. Like you said, one man don't make a team. You're right. It don't. Because our whole line shouldn't have let him get pressured the way it did all last season. Our defense should have been making plays on defense. They weren't making none. They had 3 interceptions out of the whole NFL, out of the whole season. And did you know they actually set a record last year? Out of all the teams in the NFL, Dallas let more points get scored than any other team.
That can't be right.
That's how. If I remember right, ESPN had it up at the end of the year. I would double check, but I kind of can't at the moment. So there's that. Not that I really care, anyways. All I know is they suck, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, let's see. When it comes to you think they'll make the wild card this year?
Oh, I think we'll make the wild card because I think I make it to the playoffs.
That is the playoffs.
No, wild cards are to get a slot. We'll make it into the first round and get knocked out. Or they'll make it into the second round and get knocked out. One way or another, they're going to get knocked out. I have no faith in my team. None. None at all. But, all right. So I think we're going to wrap this one up, but we will be back here in just a few minutes with football talk. Pro wrestling talk. And so we will catch you guys here in a minute. Later, y'all.